Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel, and we're continuing our study with Psalm 139. Now we're up to the verses of 13, 14, and 15. In the previous verses, we saw how Jehovah extended his coverage, his presence, and his knowledge covers the whole earth, all the way, the whole known world, from east to west, and highest, lowest, and so forth, all over the place. In other words, David was asking a lot of rhetorical questions. If I would go over here, if I go over there, and so forth, I'd find you there, or you would find me there. So both ways, works both ways. Anyway, and now we get down to the very smallest, most intimate details of how our life begins. It's a very marvelous, moving picture of how the Lord forms us, how the Lord uh, basically builds us up from the very smallest detail on up. And so that's a very beautiful passage, and it's something that we really have to look at in this day and age, because there's a tendency in the modern world to say, oh, if it's just small and we don't see it, and we don't really have to pay any attention to that. No, the Lord looks to the very smallest details, and so we're going to get into this in this study. Psalm 139, starting in verse 13 here. Ki ata kanita kilotai tishukeni bebetin imi. Because you, okay, ata is a second person independent pronoun, and here reference to Jehovah. David's continuing his conversation with the Lord, and just saying, "Oh Lord, okay." He's pointing. I've previously suggested it's just a partial suggestion. I'm not going to say a full out, but that second hey there, directional hey, take a point to the Lord, okay. Ki ata kanita, you have formed, okay. You are forming. You are. You are grabbing hold of, okay. And if you just take this phrase all by itself and set it off apart from what we're reading right here, it would come out like, oh, you are wrapping up my luggage. You're wrapping up the things I own. You're wrapping up my kitchen stuff, kilotai. But of course, the passage forms part of a context here, and so that that defines a little bit more what we're looking at. So, kanita, kof, of course, is a cord with a knot on it. So this word does have a little bit of a connotation of you're tying things together. Okay, kanita, you are tying up things. You are holding things together. Kanita. Kali is a very extensive word with lots of meanings. If you look it up in the dictionary, you're going to see, like, I don't know, 25 different meanings for this word. Mostly things, okay? The luggage, the pots and pans, all kinds of things. And when it comes to people, what's inside of them? Some of the older translations went down to the very literal of what this could mean, and namely kidneys and insides or stomach and so forth. So kilotai, plural, of course. It's a feminine plural here with kilo, o, tai, those things that belong to me, inward parts. Okay, and since we're dealing with what happens inside the womb of the mother here, beten ima, that's the translators. I'll say this: translators will look at the way a whole passage is written, and you go, okay, what is formed within the womb of a mother? This is what's formed in the womb of a mother. Okay, let's translate that way. A little bit of circular work going on there, but that's okay. So you have formed my inmost parts, everything. The Lord, even inside the womb of our mother, already is involved in putting us together, in roping us up, establishing the way we're wired, the way we're put together, and it's a beautiful concept, and I think it really, like I said at the introduction, this is something that has to be understood in the modern world, because in the modern world, there's sort of a sense of what happens in the womb is just the mother's responsibility, or uh, the mother can do what she wants with that. No. This what's in the mother's womb is somebody that is recognized by God, somebody that God is forming, and if the mother disposes of that, the mother is getting rid of something that the good Lord uh, wanted in this world. And so, yeah, tough decisions. I know that we're involved in a lot of what we call cultural wars of yes, what can we do, what we can't do, and so forth. Are we going to legislate this and all these kind of things? I think we have to get back to the way the Scripture looks at it, and is, hey, what is formed in the womb of a mother is something that is very much the work of God, and so yeah, uh, it's I know it's a complicated scenario, but the basic principle here is that what's formed in the womb, the embryon, the child that is being formed, the good Lord is forming him. That's what it's saying right here. You formed me. You formed my inward parts from the inside out. It isn't just from the outside; it's the inside. Kiata, you. Kanaiti, you are tying together. Kalotai, all of the inward parts, all of the insides of me, including, and I'm pretty sure even establishing my personality. And we're going to be looking forward into further passages which even established all the things that are going to happen in my life. Those things are even established beforehand. So, kilotai, my inmost parts, my insides. Te shukeni, and again, these two are being formed of me. You knit, okay? Again, knitting, of course, is a very, I say a very intimate, a very personable thing. When somebody sits down, my mother would often knit socks, and she would just sit there and knit different things. And of course, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of attention to make sure it gets done right. And so that's what the Lord is doing with us. As before we're even born, the Lord knit us together. We are the result of God's work, and it's just as a marvelous thing to know that we turn out the way we do. Why? Because the Lord has done it. That's something the Lord is doing, and so. You've knitted me together, my mother's womb. Beten is the womb, the insides, imi of my mother. Oh, if you want to have one of the most intimate words in the Hebrew language, this is it right here, imi, my mother. Okay, probably true of almost any language of the world. If you want an intimate word, just look for the word imi. Okay, my mother. It's and this is where I'm formed. This is where all people are formed, of course. So I praise you, Odecha, Alki, Noraot, Niflati, Niflatim, Me'ashecha, Ve'nafshi, Yoda, Meod. Very much. Okay, this is a very extensive adverb here. So, odecha. Okay? This is to praise, and I praise to you. Okay, odcha. Again, the olive here is a prefix form for the verb here. I am praising to you. This is a second person suffix to pronoun here. To you. Alken, for most certainly. Alken, alki. Yeah, alki for them. Noroot, niflati. This is the root here is based on the verb yod, Resh Aleph. Okay, Yod Resh Aleph. This incidentally is a verb that's it's incidentally very hard to define exactly, and you have to often go by context as to which one it is, whether it's Yod Resh Aleph, whether it's Resh Aleph Hey. But Ra'eh is to fear. Okay, and in reference to God, this is often the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Yarat Yehovah is the beginning of Chokmah. So that's from Proverbs, Proverbs 1, verse 6 or 7, somewhere in there. Neorot, and fearfully. Now, fearfully would go, are we scared of this? No, it's the fearfully here is back to when we respect what the Lord is doing. In other words, fearing the Lord, we are made in that way. In other words, is something that it isn't supposed to strike terror or anything like that, but it's something to more on the level of awe. In other words, wow. This is very interesting, and when you get into the study of the formation of embryos and the formation of the human body within the womb of the mother, it is very how in the world does this work? And it really only works because it's of course the creation of God or the work of God. So Norot, I'm fearfully. I can remember when my children were born, my in-laws always phoned us and would say, was the child well born? They were quite fearful that the child might not have been well born. There might have been something, a problem. It does happen, but most cases, our children are well formed, and we're very happy about that. And it's only because of the Lord. So, Norot. We are fearfully niflati. This is to be made. Incidentally, we're seeing it, here both, this one's at least a nifal, okay? A nifal is reflexive, so reflexive or passive. Pal is to make something, pala, pe lamed, hey, I would believe. But I'm fearfully made to me, okay? And this also, nifal is used, of course, in the Hebrew grammars to express the reflexive, how reflexive grammar or how a reflexive grammar construction is made. This one's again a nifal, how I am made. I am made by the Lord very marvelously, very very fearfully made. Nifala team. Again, you got the same pei lamed, you even got the same nun right here. Although at this point, you have wonderfully, of course, here, and you got wonderful here. Now, this one's got an extra aleph on the end, and I always like to regard that as a Pelé, the famous football player, with the extra aleph. This makes this one very much a plural of masculine plural of wonders. Okay, wonders. So it's used here as an adjective. Okay, so Nephalim, ma'azeha. This word is based on the verb azah. Okay, ayin sin hey. Hey, of course, is disappeared at the end here from a process of what we call apokryphe, and then the mem converts this verb into a noun, okay, the works. So azah is to work or do something, and then ma makes it the work or the doing. Ma'azeh cha, of you, okay. Again, the same second person suffix pronoun here. Odcha, I praise you and your works of you. So ma'azeh cha, this is the works of you. Nafshi, my soul. Yodat, my soul knows it. Okay, knows it. Meod, very much, a lot. Okay, very well. Like I said, it's an extensive adverb here. expressing how far this knowledge is going. Okay, yoda, yodat. My soul knows it very much. Feminine here because the nefesh, of course, is feminine. My soul is a feminine noun here. My soul knows it a whole lot, very extensively, knows it very well. So, when we reflect on what the Lord does for us in the womb of our mother, it's a very extensive and very wonderful work. Anyone who's had well-born children, look at them and they go, "Wow, what did it take to make this?" And really, it's a work of God to have that happen. My bones, lo nikhad ajmi mimecha asher uzekti besheter ruchkamti betachtiyot aretz. My bones, that is here as me. Bones, an interesting Hebrew thought. The bones are, of course, the enduring element of a person. In other words, in fact, when archaeologists would study people, or the bones were actually the real person. The soft tissue, in fact, the bones were the parts that were considered consecrated to the Lord, and the soft tissues were the things that would rot away. So there was a difference as to how things were regarded. So actually, the real person are the bones of the person. So, but anyway, just a thought of how people thought in ancient times. So, lo nikad, they were not hidden. Now, hidden or covered up, or even misplaced or something like that. Lo nikach, when Eli was asking Samuel had seen the vision of the Lord speaking to him about the punishment that would come on Eli and his family. The next morning, Eli comes to him, and you see this verb twice in that question. Don't hide it. Don't cover it up. Don't stick it to one side. Tell me everything exactly. So, and that's what we have here. My bones were not hidden. My bones were evident. They mimecha. In other words, the good Lord has seen my bones even from the time that they are being formed, right in the womb of my mother. That's where the good Lord's looking at who I am and what will be actually my person all the way through life. Your skeleton is something that accompanies you throughout your entire life. You might the soft parts over time are going to be replacing itself. Bones, I think, sometimes also replace themselves, but actually, once you have your bone structure, it sticks with you for the rest of your life. So, as me, when Eve was formed from the rib of Adam, he said, "Flesh of my flesh and bone of my bones." In other words, Eve was also of the same bone structure. It come from the rib, of course, was a bone. So, the Lord has formed that. So, lo nikad ashmi. I'm trying to see if this one is a kamisatuv. Almost works like that, but ashmi mimeche asher uzati. We've seen this root word before. Ayin seen, and it's we've seen it mashe, the doings or the workings, but here it's which I was made ushti. With a kibbutz like this, it's going to be reflexive. I was made in a myself, or being made. Okay, being made, reflexive or passive. Ashti, ushti, ushati. Sheter in secret. Okay, this is the when I was still inside the womb. And you have to remember, in ancient times, that they didn't have ultrasound machines. People just had to kind of guess what this person would be looking at while this person was being formed in the womb of the mother, being formed in secret. This kind of thing is also the Lord is hiding the formation of this for a while we're being made. Ruch kum ti, and this is ush shati rum koti. These are very much parallel words right here. This is being made. I am being made. This is first person singular suffix here. Same thing here. And then rum rukamti. This is woven together. We've seen at the start of the study the whole matter of being tied together, kaniti. Okay, so you had kaniti and rumti. Those words. One time I did my study here with all of them in one big package to show those connections, but here it is connected to the first part of how we are tied together. And yeah, if we want to take a look at it here, we've got another kof. Okay, a kof is a rope that's being tied together. So here we go again. Okay, rum come ti. Come is to raise up, and rum to be woven together. Rum come ti be. This is in. This has got a metech right here, separating out the shiva, making it, yeah, we're going to make it pronounced. Okay, be. Tach ti yot. Betach ti yot. Tachat is underneath, and so tachat aretz, in the very underneath parts of the earth. Now, we're going to ask ourselves, how is in this sense right here, aretz, and we always have to remember, aretz and ir and other words like that in Hebrew are in feminine. This will be in the feminine, because they are mothers of their inhabitants. So the aretz is the mother of the inhabitants of the earth. Okay, so in a sense, we'll get back to what is creation. In other words, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim bet haaretz. Okay, same, in fact, same comments, segol. And the earth is the mother of its inhabitants, and so in a sense, we are woven in the womb of our mother, but we are also woven in the depths of God's creation. So that's where this aretz is coming in right here. It's very much in parallel with beten. In other words, you go way back here with the womb of the mother and aretz. Those things are very much symbolically connected. They aren't separate places. In other words, the womb of the mother is an instrument in making an inhabitant of the earth. Okay, aretz. So it's a very, very, very beautiful picture, and it tells us a whole lot. We are sons and daughters of our mothers, and we're sons and daughters of our earth. In other words, we're inhabitants of this earth, and we are woven together also as part of God's creation. So, very beautiful picture here of who we are, what we are. The entire study here focuses on, the good Lord watches over us even in the most intimate, close moments of our life. When we begin life, when we are being formed, we're going to continue on studying this in the next few verses as well. The good Lord has His eyes on us when we are still very, very small and very just a very small condition. But the Lord is also working on making a great thing out of what we are and how we've been formed. So every time a child is conceived and when a child is being developed in the womb of a mother, we should be looking and saying, wow, what good things will Jehovah be doing with this one? Where's this going to go? We ask those questions knowing that the good Lord wants to carry out some beautiful things in this world through the uh, through the children He allows to be born in this world. So, um, and for us to interrupt it through abortions and so forth, very much flying in the face of what God is doing for us. And so we really should look at this very carefully and know that God is one who gives us these children, and so it's our role to care for them and see that they reach the potential of what they're going to do in life. So may God bless and may God strengthen you at this time, and may you be encouraged to know that right from the very beginning of your life, the good Lord was paying a lot of attention to who you are and what you are, and how you're growing and what you should be doing. So may God bless and may God strengthen you in this day until the next study.